All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is July 6th on a Thursday. I know the dates are still kind of wacky due to the Independence Day holiday, but it is Thursday, July 6th, 2023. Thanks so much for taking the time for joining me. Make sure not to miss us on our live market blog on Discord. If you are interested, link is in our description and on YouTube, www.gar.capital. Join our Discord, free Discord live market blog, where you get all the news and information that you need to trade and kind of see how we do things. And if you like it, maybe you can join us as well with one of our services. Also, we just opened Threads, Instagram Threads, which is kind of like the Twitter, Instagram deal. So we have that going. If you are interested, feel free to follow us too. We post news on there as well. So we covered all bases in terms of social media, at least. TikTok, I'm not a fan of, though, personally. Dow futures down 255 points. NASDAQ down about 1%, 164 points. S&P 500, 36 points to the downside, down about 0.80%. The Russell down 1%, 1869. Volatility index, 1544. And 10-year Treasury yield up 2%, but it's at 4.029, highest level on the 2-year Treasury yield since 2007. Crude oil, 71.65. Very, very choppy there. Was green earlier. Gasoline futures down about 0.60%. Even gold is down. So look at this. This is something we're going to talk about. Let's talk about really quickly. Do I not have the dollar here? Where's the dollar? I do not have the dollar index. Strange, I must have deleted it. There we go. Dollar is down about a quarter point right now, and gold is down. So this move this morning is not really a sense of fear or risk off, even though the VIX is probably saying that, because gold would be higher, and the metals as well, even with the dollar lower. And I say that because Bitcoin is green, 30,935. Copper futures down about 0.19%, bouncing. Euro dollar up 28 pips. Dollar yen down 57 pips, 144.11. Pound dollar up 50, 127.50. That's where we are this morning. In terms of news, we had the ADP jobs number, but the market I was watching really since 3:40 this morning with the London Open around 3. The market in Europe and Asia were down anyways. So again, in my opinion, this is all an excuse. This is all just pulling back because you have the dollar, gold pulling back. So again, that's not exactly fear in the market either. So to me, this is a good old-fashioned stop run. We probably have what we call a gamma wall at 4,500 S&P 500. Look how high we got, 44.98, meaning that could be a big wall for sellers where people were cashing out at this level. Again, we know the round number theory, 4,500, 4,200 took forever. Remember, 4,000 took forever. Remember, 3,900 took forever. Same old repeat. So let's go over the charts together. Let's go to S&P 500. And yes, we got stopped out on this, but I did not close personally on my futures. I do think we bounce, and that's fine. But 44.40 is that 200 weekly to 200 MA. Let's go to the daily and see if anything has been broken. As you can see, not really much. 44.12 is where maybe we start getting a little bit of concern of more downside, but we're not there yet. 44.12 is your 20-day moving average. On the hourly, yeah, I guess it looks pretty bad, but you get pullback sometimes. This was a pullback from 2 weeks ago, and we came right back up. V-shape move. We had that breakout as well from that wedge. Here we are. So again, really what we're looking for is if it holds this right here, 44.26 or so. But it seems that 44.40, that was kind of that big breakout move from Friday, that big rise. And I think we're just kind of coming back to it. We're just retesting. That's all. Nothing has really been broken. No, it's not a bear market. It's just what happens sometimes. You get some sellers. Let's take a look at NQ. Testing the shoulder line. And that's all it is. Testing the neckline. And you can see your head, your shoulders. The problem is, not the problem. Thankfully, this is an inverse head and shoulders, not a regular head and shoulders, because that'd be bullish. But look at this nice green trend line, as you can see. We'll bring it to the 4-hour. Give us a little more context. Pretty clean, holding above. Let's see if we hold above that neckline. No, so NASDAQ needs to hold that more than the S&P from what I see. Good morning, Clifton. Matt is asking about JPM. Let's take a look at it. JPM right now is holding support at 143.51. The same breakout level that we got on Friday. Can't make this stuff up, guys. All you just get was a big old grand old retest. You have a gap to fill at 144.61. You got a gap to fill at 146.77. All you got was a pullback. Does that suck for premiums? Absolutely, it does suck because it's just chop. This is all it is. Literally the worst case scenario for traders is chop. But the good news is that we can go ahead and actually take advantage of it. We just got to know what we're looking for. Let's take a look at Mara. Mara, we were in the money this morning. I had the 16 calls, 16.27. We'll get that this morning, no problem. I'm not worried about that. So Mara breaking out, we're gonna get that. Tesla, one that I've been answering plenty, guys. Really since Monday of this week, when we got this move higher, where we got in, we have been chopping around. It's just been a big old flag. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Just up 5, down 5, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Now, that doesn't help anybody with options, obviously. Even puts are getting killed. So it's kind of like pick your poison. It's just something you have to deal with sometimes. Sometimes you get a short week where you get a little choppy action. Sometimes you get a nice little stop run like you're getting on S&P 500 and NASDAQ. That's fine. We just got to roll with it and see what we get moving forward. Let's go and take a look at NVIDIA with the question here. Question from Lisa. NVIDIA, we did have that gap to fill. That's filled. In order to go long, 431.66 is the target to go long. So NVIDIA really just chopping here. If we retest 404, maybe we'd be interested, but not much going on there. AMD I was watching as well. I needed the break of 117.58 and it pulled back $6. So let's see if we retest 109.51, which is that 50% retrace, and it wouldn't be a bad level, in my opinion, to take a look at maybe playing a bounce. Again, if we get to 100, then that's where share buying happens. Definitely want to catch some more AMD. Let's see here. A good level to add QQQ. QQQ in terms of calls or in terms of options? Calls or puts or actually buying the stock. When it comes to Qs, we do have a gap to fill here at 364.78. So that might fill. I think if that fills, more than likely I'll be taking a look at going to calls because we have that inverse head and shoulders that I'm looking at, unless we start really breaking down, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY has a gap to fill here at 438.19. That's our risk level. That's really it. We'll see if we fill that gap. Tomorrow we have NFP, which is a market moving event. We had ADP today, which the jobs number was better than expected, was actually higher than expected. And the market doesn't like good news. It doesn't like bad news. Guys, sometimes you just get sells. That's it. People just sell their stock or the machine starts selling and there's really no rhyme or reason. People working is not exactly a bad thing. Yes, when you have too many people working, that increases inflation. But the Fed knew this and they still paused. Why? Now we know we have 25 basis points in July. That's baked in. I'm just curious to see what has changed in the past 2 weeks from today. Fundamentally, nothing. Other than 10-year bond yields. Yields are above 4. But if you have a Fed that's going to raise again, why would you want to buy bonds at this price? Doesn't make sense. So it seems like to me the Fed doesn't know if they're coming or they're going. And what you're trying to do here as a trader is find opportunities. And find opportunities we shall. Guys, this is just the name of the game with the market. You get ups and downs, you get lefts, you get rights, you get chopped like Tesla, you get NQ falls on a stop run, and then you get breakouts like Mara. For some reason, interesting enough, that the market is completely red. Everyone's, I assume, freaking out. But Bitcoin is green, the riskiest of all assets. Cryptocurrency, and that's green. Go figure. The VIX is up 9% today. Guys, the VIX is at 15. 15 is historically low. So I think people need to take things with a grain of salt and see that all these moves in the grand scheme is really nothing. If you're a short-term trader, yeah, this is kind of a pain in the ass. But again, just like anything else, we take advantage of the next move, whether it's to play shorts, whether it's to buy the dip, we will find what's the next move and we'll let you guys know if you're part of the service. Apple filled a gap. Does it go lower? Well, I'm glad it did, finally. You see the gap there. Let's go to the daily and see exactly where we are. Where we are, 189.55. Okay, doesn't look very bearish, that's for sure. And this doesn't look very bearish either. In terms of where could we go, 187.84. Do I really want to trade $2 on Apple? I think it's beneficial just to wait. There's not a lot of good setups to the downside. If not, I would have taken a look for gap fills to the downside. And I think there's just is going to be bought. And this so reminds me of Thursday, last Thursday, where I said, I think we're going to soar on Thursday. And what happened last Thursday? We chopped around. And then Friday we soared. So I guess we're going to fall today and maybe rise tomorrow, more than likely. So again, we know in terms of what to expect due to seasonality. We sent that here on the Discord market blog and on, I believe, Twitter. Let's see here. Here we go, guys. This is from the blog, from late night. First 2 weeks of the month of July, historically strong from stocks. Again, we know seasonality. We are now on the 6th. So the 6th, we usually get a little higher. So if we don't get that today, it doesn't have to go this way. But the 7th, the 8th, the 9th pulls back, the 10th to the, I mean, historically, this is from 1950 to 2022. Historically speaking, we're going higher in terms of the first 2 weeks. Now towards the tail end of July, we may get a little sideways or pullback. But yes, this happening here happens. And what we're going to do is take advantage and take a look and see if we could play some turnarounds, or if not, short this thing. I have no problem shorting it with cheap puts, whatever it takes. Would you consider doing meta calls? We had meta calls yesterday. It is high as 160. We took it. Of course, I closed it, but the members closed it too. I think they did. We told them to close, and now it's pulling back. I think meta is worth a shot for a buy the dip scenario. That'd be one of them. I was kind of kicking myself that I closed, and then now I'm glad I did. So the way I see it is always it's a really good phrase. If you have to ask, just close. It's not worth the headache. And again, if it's good enough for a screenshot where you're proud of it, just close it. Move on. And again, maybe we'll go ahead and see if we can play meta again. Again, we have to see the price action this morning. All of this is pre-market. All of this is light volume because no one trades options pre-market. And here we were yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, the world's going to end, Carlos. We're tanking. One big green candle from 44.67 to two green candles to 44.90. And then we pulled back. So again, don't be surprised you get one of these green candles where shorts cover their positions. Completely could happen. Again, we're at a point where we just need to see what happens next. There's not a point of inflection where, oh, we're definitely going to tank. We're not even close to that. We're just very looking at minutia, short-term time frames, where we're getting a little bit of a pullback. That's really it. All you're doing here, at least from now, at least unless we get to 44.39, is retracing Friday's move. Friday's move was very beautiful, ahead of a July 4th weekend, even though the market was open on Monday. But again, it was a nice move. And now we're just kind of checking back to it. Not the worst thing in the world. This thing happens. And now, again, like I've always said, pullbacks are opportunities. Let's make the most of it. Let's see. What do we need to break for calls? In terms of calls, where? On meta. Wow, if we can get back this trend line to around 290, let's say 297, then I would take a look at going for the 300s. And that'll be a quick trade, probably a quick scalp on it. But we need to get above 297. Let's see if that, Threads was as good or as, at least popular as it seems with the signups now. Is it truly the Twitter killer? We don't know yet. It just came out. So if you haven't joined Threads on Instagram, we are on there. Guard Capital as always. But again, guys, we're just going to have to wait this out. I wish I had better information for you guys and say, yeah, definitely going to fall more 2% today, or definitely we're going to bounce today. You're just getting a little bit of a pullback, and you're getting it back to the level since Friday. That's it. And nothing more special than that. And that happens more times than you will ever know. Happens all the time. Reversion to the mean, back and forth, up and down, left and right. All we do, guys, is really weigh probabilities and react accordingly. And we do pretty good. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes, and most of the times it does. So what we're going to do is just wait. Let's take a look at Square. Square we hit yesterday. Very well done. And that break came out. Got out of that thing. I held a runner. But again, it's probably going to be red this morning. We do have a gap to fill on Square, guys, at 72. So this pullback is an opportunity. Why? Because we can play the exact same level that we did last time. If we get to 67.78 again, or if we fill this gap here to 68.84, we can play the 70 calls. We were in the money yesterday. So we have a gap to fill. Let's see if we get to 68.84. If we do, I would play longs again. I did not want to hit Netflix twice in the same day. I didn't want to hit Meta twice in the same day. Not in the same day. I've done that before with COVID during the flush. That's easier when you get a flush because everyone's trying to short it. But in a bull run, it's difficult to hit it multiple times because those call option volumes kind of move very, very quick to the upside due to momentum. But when it comes to puts, kind of doing it again because it continues to fall when you get like a limit down or a crazy day, that's a little an easier endeavor than it is than hitting calls multiple up and down because you're going to get pullbacks here and there. And in terms of a flush, it's usually just very, very, very ugly to the downside where it just gets really panicky. And panic people sell. People don't panic buy, people panic sell. And again, that's easier to hit multiple times than, people are just interested in Square because it's a nice trade. You just do it once and you move on. But again, since it's a new day, we'll see if we get to 68.84. We break that gap fill, then we would go long again. And really the trophy, or I don't want to say the trophy, the level that we're looking for, the goal, is 72.62. That's the daily gap fill, and I think we get there. So we can do it for next week. Last time we've done trades for last week, the next week, it kind of hurt us. So we may have to do this week, but ahead of Friday, we'd have to weigh the probabilities, weigh the results, weigh what happens in the price action and the volume as well. And look, you can see NQ bouncing off that trend line, guys. I mean, what if this holds? What then? I mean, does the world really change? No, not really. All we did was, again, retest Friday's levels. I'll post this on the blog today. But that's where we are, guys. JPM for the rest of the week, again, just choppy. That's the one thing we want, is just no more chop. We just want to be done. So I've screenshotted this, and I will let my blog members know about this chart. Have a great rest of your morning. We will see you on the market blog. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.